Should you buy or skip the MSI Claw? I've tested the MSI Claw, so you don't have to. Let's get into it. Now me, I'm a big fan of MSI, so when I heard they were gonna come out with a handheld, I was at once surprised and also delighted because that has a Meteor Lake chip, which is supposed to be more power efficient and also has some AI features, made me think that this could be the Windows handheld. There's been some problems with Windows handhelds if you've seen my other videos, so I had a lot of hopes for this product. To start, the MSI Claw packs a 7-inch 1080p display at 120 Hertz, an Intel Core 5 processor, 16 gigs of RAM, and 512 gigs of storage. But for $699, is it worth it? The first reason to buy the MSI Claw is for its ergonomic design. So to make it more comfortable, you can see that it has really good grips here. They're not protruding too much, just slightly. You also have what's kind of standard for most controllers and gaming handhelds. You have your shoulder buttons here. You have 2 analog sticks, which also have RGB. They're offset like Xbox controllers, D-pad, and in the back here, you see it has all these vents, and I feel they kind of give you a nice little good grip there as well. One thing I will say is that even though this is heavier than some of the other handhelds we tested, like the Steam Deck and the Asus ROG Ally, it doesn't feel too bad just because of the weight distribution. This is really good to hold for a long time. That's important because if you're gonna be using this thing for long extended periods of time, you want it to feel comfortable to hold. Another reason you should buy the MSI Claw is because it runs cool and quiet. Compared to other handhelds, this runs so much quieter. Listen to this. The benefit is that while you're playing a game, you don't have a fan just all up in your face, which is really good. A lot of other handhelds kind of have a problem with that. And because it's cool, it's not gonna feel very hot. Even if you decide to like touch the top here, if you wanna, connect it or anything or change the volume, your hands aren't gonna get scorched, kind of like the Steam Deck. It's really, really good. That's something MSI was boasting about, that, hey, we have new cooling technology, and they're right about that. This is one of the coolest systems out there. And the final reason you should buy the MSI Claw is for its Windows 11 compatibility. That means you're able to play any Windows game on this device. You may need to finagle a little bit, but generally, if you can play it on Windows 11, you could run on this, and any Windows 11 app will also run on this machine. What's good about that is that if you're familiar with Windows, you don't have to relearn another OS. You don't have to worry about like Linux, for example, which is what Steam uses. This is an OS that everybody is familiar with. So whatever you're able to do on like a gaming laptop, for example, you're able to do on the MSI Claw. One of the other bonuses is that if you have gaming peripherals like a Razer keyboard or Corsair headsets or anything like that, they have specific Windows apps. You can run those right on this machine and just use it seamlessly. There are several other things that I like about the MSI Claw, which you can read in my full review over at tomsguide.com. However, there are definitely some reasons you don't want to buy this system. The first reason you shouldn't get the MSI Claw is because Windows 11 is still not great for handhelds. The buttons sometimes don't work, sometimes the touch interface doesn't work, and just like Windows 11, you will have to deal with a lot of updates and a lot of crashes, and that's something that regular people and even tech heads like me don't want to deal with. Another reason I think the MSI Claw isn't worth it is because of issues you may face with installing Intel drivers. Since this is an Intel machine, you're gonna need to install Windows drivers. However, I had some issues trying to install those drivers, no matter how hard I tried. I finally got them installed, but it was just a pain in the neck that I don't think anybody wants to deal with. The problem is if you don't install the drivers, the games may not run correctly, the machine may not run as you expect, so you need those drivers in there, but if you can't install them, that's a problem. Since that's a software issue, that's something Intel could fix. Hopefully they will, but right now if you're buying this, you might have to deal with that nonsense, and it's not good. The final reason you should skip the MSI Claw is because of the MSI Center Launcher. It works fine enough to get you into a game, to launch a game. All that's good. The problem is that as soon as you finish a game, you're sent right back to the Windows 11 desktop. There may be a patch for this in the future, but right now, the MSI Center Launcher is a pain in the neck. If it were me, I would not buy the MSI Claw. Unfortunately, as I and many other reviewers have noted, this machine does not live up to the promise. Consensus generally is that this is one of the weakest Windows 11 handhelds, which is unfortunate, but it's true. That's disappointing because, again, I really like MSI as a company that makes some great products, so I had some big hopes for this handheld, but unfortunately, it's just not there yet. Hopefully, a future iteration will fix the issues that I have, because I think there's a lot of potential there, but right now, if you're gonna spend your hard-earned money on the system, I would look elsewhere. But as I said, those are my thoughts right now. Things could change in the future. Intel and MSI are looking into the problem, so they may address it. And keep in mind that the Asus ROG Ally was a lot better 6 months after launch, so it's possible the MSI Claw could really live up to its potential in the future. All right, guys, so those are my thoughts on the MSI Claw, but I want to know what you have to say. So please go into the comment section, let me know. And for everything else Tom's Guide related, make sure you hit us up on socials at Tom's Guide. Make sure you head over to Tom's Guide to read my full review of the MSI Claw and all the other handhelds I've checked out.